I tracked my husband's secret fishing trips and discovered something that changed my view on men's mental health forever. I, 34F, have been married for 8 years, and my husband has always enjoyed his monthly fishing trips with his college buddies. At first, I never thought twice about it. He'd pack his gear on Friday afternoon, head out for the weekend, and return Sunday evening with either fish or stories about the ones that got away. Things changed 6 months ago when I noticed subtle differences in his behavior. He started being more secretive with his phone, changed his usual fishing spot without explanation, and the fish he brought home seemed store-bought rather than freshly caught. The final straw was when I found a receipt from a high-end restaurant in his jacket pocket, dated during his supposed fishing weekend. I'm not proud of what I did next, but my gut feeling wouldn't let me ignore the signs. I installed a location tracking app on his phone while he was sleeping. For weeks, I watched his regular movements, waiting for his next fishing trip. When the weekend finally came, I saw his location ping from a cabin, but not anywhere near his usual fishing spots. That Saturday morning, I decided to drive there. The 2-hour journey gave me plenty of time to imagine the worst scenarios. Was he having an affair? Was he involved in something illegal? Each possibility felt more devastating than the last. When I finally reached the address, I found a modest cabin in a secluded area. There were 3 cars parked outside. I recognized my husband's, but the others were unfamiliar. As I approached, I heard muffled voices through the windows. What I discovered next left me completely speechless. Through the window, I saw my husband and 4 other men, but they weren't fishing. The cabin's living room had been transformed into what looked like a makeshift therapy circle. They were sitting in a circle, and one of the men was crying while the others listened intently. My husband reached out and put a comforting hand on his shoulder. I stood there frozen as I began to understand. This wasn't an affair or anything sinister. It was a support group. I later learned that these men, all struggling with various personal issues, had created their own safe space away from the judgment of society. They used fishing trips as a cover because they felt ashamed to admit they needed emotional support. My husband discovered me outside before I could leave. Instead of anger, I saw relief wash over his face. That evening, he told me everything. The group started 3 years ago when one of his friends went through a severe depression after losing his job and family. They realized many of them were dealing with similar struggles, but felt trapped by societal expectations of being a man. The restaurant receipt I found? They treat themselves to one nice meal during their weekend sessions. A small celebration of their progress and friendship. The store-bought fish was their way of maintaining the fishing trip story, afraid their wives and friends wouldn't understand their real activities. I've spent the last few weeks processing this discovery. While I feel guilty about invading his privacy, this experience has opened up honest conversations between us about emotional vulnerability and trust. My husband now attends regular therapy sessions, and we're working on building a stronger foundation of open communication in our marriage. The fishing trips continue, but now without the need for deception. Sometimes healing happens in unexpected places, and support comes in forms we'd never imagine. While I wish he had felt comfortable telling me the truth from the beginning, I understand why he felt he couldn't. It's a reminder that everyone, regardless of gender, needs safe spaces to be vulnerable. This experience has changed how I view not just my husband, but men's mental health in general. These fishing trips might not have caught any actual fish, but they've managed to catch and support several men who were drowning in silence. Looking back, I realize that sometimes our suspicions lead us to discoveries that challenge our assumptions in the most profound ways. What started as a story about potential infidelity turned into a lesson about empathy, understanding, and the complicated ways people seek help when they feel they can't ask for it directly.